Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Healthcare Marketing Executive. I'm Saul Marquez, and I am so excited to be hosting the outstanding Colin Hung. This gentleman needs no introduction in healthcare marketing. But for those of you that may not know him, Colin is just a brilliant person. He is the editor-in-chief and chief marketing officer at Sway Health Marketing Community. They're just an extraordinary group of healthcare marketers. They've got an amazing publication, a conference. Colin's going to tell us all about that. But you know what I love about Colin is that apart from his role at Sway, he also wore the hat of Chief Marketing Officer, VP of Marketing across many different companies. And so I love the rich history that he has. And so with that, Colin, thank you so much for being on this side.
Yeah, this is going to be weird for me, but I'm loving it already, Saul. So thank you for having me on the program.
Hey, definitely our pleasure, Colin. So let's just get started, man. To begin with, what is it that got you into healthcare marketing?
It's a funny story. Basically, I opened my big mouth and someone challenged me on it. So I was a very happy, content salesperson. I carried a bag for many years. So I have a lot of empathy for salespeople. And I was a lot younger then, had a big ego. And I basically said to my sales manager at the time, I said, we're doing so well as a sales team, but imagine how much better we would be if we actually had support from marketing. Because I felt that marketing wasn't doing anything. We were getting a lot of leads and all that kind of stuff, typical salesperson stuff. I'm looking back on it now.
Yeah.
And my sales manager at the time said, well, if you think you can do any better, why don't you go over there and spend a few months working there, right? And see. And I said, sure. How hard could it be? And I did. I went over there and joined the marketing team for a little bit and got to know what they did and realized very quickly that it was a lot more than what I thought they did and a lot more complicated and actually turned out a lot more fun. And after that, basically decided that my next career move would actually be to jump over to the marketing side and away from sales. So that's how I ended up in healthcare marketing. It was on essentially a dare by my manager at the time, and it worked.
Awesome. That's cool, man. Unlike most who would have said, no, I'm cool. I was just saying that. You said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And just having known you for the last few years, Colin, that is the type of person you are. You jump into it.
Sometimes without looking and not realizing, but yes, it's always fun to learn new things. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do is I'm always curious and I love finding out new ways of doing things. So enjoy it. And marketing is one of the best places to continually learn like that.
That's awesome, man. Well, one of my favorite things about talking to you is that you are at the center of a bunch of healthcare marketers, which is really cool. For people that I'm actually surprised that more people don't know about Sway. I don't want it to be a secret because it's amazing. So help our listeners in the healthcare marketing executive community learn about Sway if they don't know.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So our website is Sway Health. That's Sway with 2 A's, .health. And it's a publication. So we focus exclusively on telling stories, sharing knowledge, talking about the latest news in the world of healthcare marketing. And when I say healthcare marketing, I mean for payers, I mean for providers, and I mean for health IT, digital health companies, and medical device companies as well. So if you're in any marketing function in healthcare, we've got some content that I think you might find valuable. It's weird to say this. We're an online only publication that's old school. So if you're going to think about that for a second, right? And we're old school in the sense that we're free. There's no paywalls. We're totally sponsor and ad supported. You don't have to worry about, I don't have to sign up for like a year-long subscription or anything. We've been free ever since we've started. And we want it that way because we truly are interested in sharing best practices and strategies and things like that. So you'll see a lot of times on our publication success stories about how customers have done things, whether that's a health IT company or a provider. And we have a lot of stuff that we do on videos, a lot of interviews with luminaries in our space and talking about the latest PR trends or the latest event marketing trends or all this stuff around AEO, GEO. And you've been on us all and talking about some of the fantastic things around ABM. So just a wide variety of topics. And we go to a lot of conferences as well. And we look at those conferences in healthcare from the lens of healthcare marketing. So what are the trends that we're seeing in addition to the stories that we're seeing as it relates to healthcare marketing?
I'm a big fan of the Colin Hung conference summary.
Those are fun to do, but a lot of work.
Dude, you do such a great job. If I miss a conference, I'm like, okay, when is Colin going to post? Because you just like, boom. Oh, good. All right, good. I didn't miss it. I didn't miss as much because I got the Colin.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we do. To give you an idea, right? I went to about 45, 42 conferences last year. We go to a lot of conferences. So
insane.
So yeah, so it's funny because I never would have thought to do that, except someone asked me one time and said, hey, Colin, I'm not going to be able to go to this conference. Why don't you do like a little summary and post it? That way people like me who didn't get a chance to go can see what's going on. So I did, and it did really well. And I kept doing it. But yeah, so I do two types of summaries. One type is where I summarize just kind of what happened, what are the key points, the trends, interesting keynotes and things like that. Or true, just if you weren't, here's what happened, a summary. And then the other one I do is a more controversial one, which is the best of show style one, where I actually rate and rank people's like the best booths, the best giveaways, the best booth activations and things like that. So it's a lot of fun to see.
I got to check more of those out. I haven't seen those. So maybe we could link up a few here in the show.
Yeah, it's fun. I got a chance to sample all the giveaways.
I think it's great. So thanks for what you do on that. And by the way, folks, I don't know if you know this or not, but like on Sway's website, or it might be on Health IT, Colin, you might have to correct me. There's a list of all the healthcare conferences.
Yes, there is. So that's on our sister publication, healthcareittoday.com. And right there, if you go to the page, there's a page that's dedicated to events. And there you'll see a list of all the healthcare events that we go to, but also that are just happening in the industry. It's a great sort of resource to know what events are out there. And
definitely a good one, guys. If I'm ever curious about an event, I actually have it bookmarked. I think we should definitely put it in the show notes for you guys to check it out. Have you started linking your summary?
I will. We will. And it's funny enough, we are working on something for a Sway version of that. More news to come on that. So we're working hard to get that out there.
Ooh, bring it on, baby. Love that. Love the tidbits you guys put out. And then tell us about the meeting, because I want to make sure people know about the meeting.
Yeah. So every year, and we're now into our 14th, I think it is. Every year we have a gathering for healthcare marketers in healthcare. It's just for healthcare marketers or also people in PR and patient experience, but it's anyone related to that kind of world. And we get together and it's a really great opportunity to network and learn from peers. We have a lot of amazing speakers and panel discussions. Probably two of the things at our conference, by the way, it's called the Sway Health Live event. And this year it is happening April 30th in Boston, just outside of Boston in Foxborough. And two of the things that we're most known for, that conference is most known for, is these couple of panels that we run. So one is a customer panel where we actually put CIOs, VPs from healthcare systems, and we ask them very blunt questions on what marketing do you respond to? Do emails work? Where do you go? Do you avoid the exhibit hall? Do you read the emails that you get? Do you watch YouTube videos? We basically ask the questions that every marketer wants to know the answer to. And it's amazing to hear the answers. Like, it's always enlightening to hear that. So that's very popular. And then we have something called an unconference session, which is also very...
That's my favorite.
Those are your favorite?
Tell them about it. I love the unconference. And by the way, I will say I'm a late bloomer. It took me forever. In fact, Christopher Cunny is the one that told me about you guys. And I'm like, dude, how did I not know about Sway? So I'm a late bloomer, but I went last year and I loved the unconference. Tell them about
Yeah, so our unconference sessions are based on a concept where the best parts of the conference usually is the Q&A part, right? At the end of the presentation, like that's where it's really rich and you get really to understand what people's challenges are. And it's a lot of fun. So the unconference concept is basically an entire session where whoever's in that room asks the questions, right? So prior to the unconference, we'll have a piece of paper stuck on a wall, even though those giant post-it posters, and people will write the questions on the topic. So we'll have like an unconference session maybe on event marketing or the latest in SEO or the latest in website design. And people will write the questions that they want to have answered, they want to ask. And during the unconference, we walk through those questions, but then inevitably the idea is that it just spurs other questions, right? So someone from the audience will just put up their hands, like, well, I've got a question, and they ask it. And then the rest of the audience answers. Oh, from my experience, I did this, or wait, maybe want to try that. And so it's a great way to share information frankly, from people who have actually done it. And those are some of the best conversations and takeaways. And you always see people madly scribbling down notes and connecting with people afterwards to say, oh, hey, listen, I heard that you're the one who did it. Let's talk. And so those are fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. Last year, there was one on PR, and then the other one was on, you guys are going to love this. It was on Hims versus Vive versus Becker's versus Health. Oh, man. It was so good. It was so good.
It was
so
good. And
you guys had
the irony was we actually had
Brittany did a good job.
She did amazing. She did an expert moderating that one. And the funny thing is that there were people from Hims and Health and Vive in the room while they were for that unconference. So that
I missed that part.
they were getting firsthand feedback.
For better or for worse, but it's real. It's real. It is real. You guys won't want to miss that. Definitely one that I will be at. And our team, our company is also sponsoring again this year because we believe in what the Sway team is doing with Colin and Brittany and the crew out there. You get to see a lot of marketers as we discuss, Colin. What's a campaign or initiative that either you've done or that you have seen that has worked so well? And how would you recommend other people apply?
Wow, that's a very good question. Well, some of the more interesting ones, and I'm biased because I get to go to so many conferences, so I'm always interested in the leading edge type stuff. But I've seen a lot of healthcare organizations, so provider organizations, really lean into influencer marketing now, which is really exciting to see because healthcare has traditionally been a little bit behind, a little bit more conservative. But to see organizations embracing influencer marketing is very cool. And these aren't like mega brand influencers. These aren't people who have hundreds of thousands of followers. These are local influencers who are influential in the community that they're serving, or who are on a topic like women's health or mental health that are local. And these healthcare organizations are teaming up with them to produce podcasts, to sponsor some of their work around the community. And those have been really effective. And I say that because it's low cost, low effort, but high impact. Because what I think a lot of organizations are realizing is it takes a lot of work to build an audience and to build a trusted following. And as a healthcare organization, you have a lot of forces, a lot of headwinds against that right now. And so to be able to essentially stand on the shoulders of local influencers who are looking for this kind of partnership, it's a win-win. I just did a story with Olmsted Medical Center and they were successfully doing it. I know Broward County does this. Broward Hospital does this a lot. A lot of people are doing this, Hackensack Meridian. So those are some of the more exciting campaigns that I've seen lately that have been really successful.
I love that. And you know what? It's fantastic. And I definitely think that folks should be thinking about this, but also vendors as well, right? Vendors should be thinking about this as well, not just...
Yeah, absolutely. And we're starting to see that as well. Obviously, in the heavy tech space, we've got a lot of influencers who wouldn't want to be featured by Marcus Brownlee, right? Like who, I don't think he's covering health IT yet, but there are others that it's with lots of influential podcasts, your podcasts, and a lot of other people who have great shows and media outlets out there. These are the influencers of our industry. And lately, I've been having some conversations with people to say, in this world of AI that we live in, where it's so easy to create AI-generated content, it's these being on podcasts, being up on stage, being interviewed is what's going to actually be the real proof that you truly are a thought leader that you say you are, and that it's not just AI-generated. Because it's so hard to fake this when it's live, right, or live recorded. Yeah. So it's not classic influencer and what you hear on YouTube these days, but it's our form of influencer in the B2B health IT world. So yeah, I see a lot of companies now embracing essentially classic PR, right?
That's awesome, brother. I love that. I love that you went there. It is an out-of-the-box response in our space, and that's why I love chatting with you. And now you guys... you get to benefit from Colin's expertise. 45 plus conferences. Conferences for me and our team are one of the ways we keep our ear to the ground and know what's going on. Colin's got pipelines coming from conferences of knowledge, like heavy pipes. So really appreciate that, Colin.
Yeah, I have to say this, like as a plug for all conferences out there. Healthcare conferences, we've heard about them. Oh, they're over. They're done. They're expensive. And they are. Don't get me wrong. They are expensive. Some of them are very expensive. But they are so worthwhile because healthcare, we are so risk averse as an industry. And there's nothing that anybody's going to do to change that. It's just baked into the DNA of healthcare. Mm-hmm. So we trust people. We trust luminaries. We trust experts. And it is at conferences that have the highest concentration of those experts that people can connect with, right? They want to walk up and talk to the speaker of that session. They want to hear what their peer down the street is doing or using and what they ran into so they can avoid the same thing. And conferences are the only place where you can get a lot of that in a very concentrated amount of time. And so if you can free yourself from the box of your booth and really embrace what conferences are really about, then you will always do well and have a fantastic ROI and a fantastic return from conferences.
Amen, my friend. Amen. I love that. Such a great point there, Colin. And just with regard to things that you would change about healthcare marketing, what's one that stands out to you that you wish would just be different?
Oh, that's a good one. I think the one thing that I wish was a little bit different for both the provider side, the payer side, as well as digital health and the health IT side. I think marketing has lost its luster. I think I would say that. I hear increasingly that marketing leaders are not at the C-level table. They are not being asked to be part of the strategic discussions around growth, around revenue, around cost cutting. They're seen as a functional area, a shared service, if you will, in a lot of cases. And although it's true, a lot of what we do is behind the scenes. I think that's something I would change because I think marketing has so much to offer. Marketing leaders have such a perspective, and they can be a great addition, a catalyst, if you will, a booster to a lot of the activities that executives do on their teams, whether that's clinical, whether that's sales, whether that all those places. And I just see in the last pretty much before COVID, the marketing teams have been knocked down a few rungs on the strategic corporate ladder. And so I wish that would change. And I think it's up to us to help change that. Like we have to be better at proving our ROI and showing the value and all those kinds of things. But I do wish that more executives would pay attention or give some ear to what the marketing team is seeing, because it's our job to look at the landscape. Like it's our job to look at competitors, our job to understand what customers are really feeling and how they buy. And that's valuable information for anybody.
I envision a lot of head nods and fist bumps happening on that one. Kudos to you, my marketing executives. We've got Colin that is representing us out there. Let's get to the C-suite more. I love that, Colin. That's so good. That's so good. This has been a really fun conversation. It's always fun to connect with you, Colin. One of the fun things that we do on the podcast is at the end, we have the marketer that was previously on ask a question to the next podcast marketer.
Wow.
Okay. And so I have a question from our previous guest, who was Adam Robinson from RB2B. He's the CEO of RB2B. And then you'll get to ask a question to the next marketer.
Okay. I'm scared, but okay.
All right. So Adam wants to know, in a world where it seems like pipeline channels are eroding, SEO disrupted by AI, cold email increasingly ineffective, paid ads are hit or miss, what should a marketer's 5-year marketing plan look like?
Wow.
It's a doozy, brother. It's a doozy.
Okay. Wow. That's, first of all, a very good question. So, Adam, very good. Okay. So this is going to be a bit controversial. One, I do not think you should have a 5-year plan. Like, seriously. You should have a 5-year career plan for yourself, personal growth plan, for sure. Do that. But if you're planning 5 years out as a marketer, like, that's way too far in the future. Who could predict that far? So my advice, first of all, is you got to shorten that time horizon.
Touche.
Touche. That's one. Like, it should be at most 2 to 3 years, because
awesome.
Even then, like, the pace of change these days,
so many things change,
both in technology terms, but also just in healthcare terms. Like, just things are changing so fast. Policies come out rapidly. States will do something. Government, feds will do something. Just whole new technologies will spin up. Like who could have predicted the rise of GLP-1s, right? Like just,
Right.
So I think, first of all, you got to shorten the time horizon. But what should be on there is a lot of stuff around experimenting. Like your plan should have a lot of things where you got to try something, see if it works, measuring it, proving it, and then iterating on top of it once you find something that really hits, whether it's influencer marketing, some new stuff around GEO, AEO, even going as far as advertising on the streaming platforms like Netflix. And no one's really experimented around that quite yet, right? So all those things I think should be part of your plan. It doesn't have to be those things, but just some form of experimentation. What you cannot do in marketing anymore is just go with what worked last year or even last quarter. You've always got to be questioning what that is. So I would recommend, and I would love to see in these 2 to 3 year plans, a lot of, okay, we're going to try this quarter. And then if it works, we're going to replicate and we're going to drop this if this works, kind of thing, right? So you know right away what it is you're going to drop, and obviously prepare your C-level and your sales executives for whatever that is. So that would be my answer to that question.
I love it. I love it. Great response there. Thank you for those insights, Colin. And folks, check out those shorter timelines and experiment. You never know what you're going to find. And at the end of the day, it's that ROI that's going to prove out if you double down on it or not. Colin, what question do you want to leave our next marketer with?
Wow. Okay. I gotta think of a good one. Actually, I know I've been thinking about this. And so my question would be to the next person you have on your show is, if you could ban the use of AI in one place in marketing, what would that be?
Oh, I love that. That is a good one. Ooh, what do you guys think? Where would you ban it? I'm very curious to hear. Colin, this has been great. I really appreciate you making the time to join us and amidst your busy travel schedule. I think we got lucky that you guys got a ton of snow, and I had you captive for about a week there in Canada.
I am out. I got to go out there with my hairdryer and start melting it a little bit in order to see outside my windows.
Well, I'm really glad you joined us. If people want to learn more about you and about Sway, where can they reach you?
Yeah. So obviously you can connect with me via the Sway Health website. That's, again, SWAAY.health. You'll find all our articles and things there. There's also a contact us page. Or the other place and the best place to reach me is actually on LinkedIn, when you'll find me just by searching Colin, Hung. And I'm the one that's annoyingly posting videos and articles every day.
Very informative, I might add. Very informative. So appreciate what you do, Colin. Thanks for the ways to connect. Folks, in the show notes, you're going to find all the ways to get in touch with Colin Hung from Sway Health. So excited that he joined us today. Hope you're walking away with some major insights that you could take right to action as soon as you stop listening to this. Colin, thanks for being
Thank you.
with us.